Sherlock Holmes, there's a new Guy Ritchie movie out, okay? And over the years of this program, it's just kind of rather fitting, actually. We're coming up towards the end with Guy Ritchie. So, the things that are,
I always love Guy. We've never had a bad word to say about Guy.
We've had many, many bad words to say about
Numerology.
Guy.
Tell me all again about
Tell me all about Kabbalah. Tell me, it was a load of Kabbalah. And when I was reviewing Revolver, I do remember saying that I did feel like throwing myself off the balcony, and it was like watching somebody set fire to their career. And there is something about Guy Ritchie that just inspires something in me that, I mean, I have had more bad times in the cinema with Guy Ritchie movies, but laugh out loud. Anyway, so now Guy has got his geezery hands on Sherlock Holmes and Watson. So the story is, for the new Sherlock Holmes movie, and you obviously know about it because you've seen the posters, you've seen the trailers, okay? So, Sherlock Holmes up against an adversary who is doing evil stuff, possibly from beyond the grave, with a kind of occulty flavour, which, of course, that's fine. That's all sort of, down to the source material. There is a lot more bare-knuckle fighting in this Sherlock Holmes than perhaps you would expect from the book. Apparently, there is a lot, and I should say, I'm not an expert on the literary origins of this, but I am reliably informed that there is a passing reference that says, you know what, he was a bit tasty in a fight, and clearly this has been taken as an excuse. Yes, fine. So not only is he incredibly intelligent, but he's also, fisticuffs, and the way they make it Sherlock Holmes is that when he's having the fights, the action stops so that he thinks through how to do the fights in a very logical fashion. So he's like a detective, but also a bare-knuckle fighter while stripped to the waist and doing all the Guy Ritchie stuff, okay? Holmes and Watson, played by Robert Downey Jr., who's, up and down, and Jude Law, who's up and down. And therefore, all the things are in place for a car crash of a movie. Anyway, at the centre of the whole thing is a tension between Holmes and Watson, because Holmes has got himself engaged, because Watson has got himself engaged, and Holmes doesn't want to lose him. They're like a bickering old couple in which one of them is big-mouthed and full of himself and big hands and completely unable to pay the correct compliments to the other one. And the other one is the reasonable jelly who somehow holds it all together. Shall we hear a clip?
Oh, this sounds good.
There we go.
Holmes, as your friend, you've been in this room for 2 weeks. I insist you have to get out.
There's nothing of interest for me out there on Earth at all.
So you're free this evening?
Absolutely.
Dinner?
Wonderful.
The Royale?
My favourite.
Mary's coming.
Not available.
You're meeting her, Holmes?
Have you proposed yet?
No, I haven't found the right ring.
Oh, then it's not official.
It's happening, whether you like it or not. 8:30, the Royale. Wear a jacket.
You wear a jacket.
It's like the best Christmas present, isn't it? There's a
Are
new
you
Guy
saying
Ritchie film.
I'm a reasonable jelly?
Yes.
Are you cracking your knuckles?
Because there's a new Guy Ritchie film out.
Okay, here we go then.
I liked it.
I thought you were heading in that direction.
Did you?
I did.
You see,
I did. I felt that you were,
and
the backsliding.
I liked it. The funny thing is this, okay? Here's what I liked about it. Firstly, it's the least Guy Ritchie movie Guy Ritchie has ever made. And there's a lot of names on the screenplay, but none of them are Guy Ritchie. And although there are occasional moments when it sort of looks like it's about to go off into numerology, it doesn't. Because, if Guy had, that doesn't happen. That's point number one. Point number two, because of its setting, there really is precious little opportunity to get in geezery blokes, what do that? And they're called, Jimmy the Snout and Mumbles, and okay, because there are characters who already have names. Plus, because of the setting, there's not that much opportunity for that. Actually, the thing is designed rather well. It has the gothic look of those kind of fog-bound streets that entirely befits the movie, because of course Sherlock Holmes is on that cusp of horror and crime thriller in the same way that perhaps in Italy Gialli is between horror and thriller. It's pitched quite right for that. In terms of the performances, Mark Strong, who plays the evil guy, plays him like Count Dracula, and he's great. He's really good.
He's usually good, isn't he?
Mark Strong is usually good, but in this, he's really good. And he takes a role which actually could have descended just into wanton caricature, and he makes the very best of it, and he's really, really good, and I liked him very much. There is much less of the camera goes very fast then stops, camera goes very fast then stops, camera goes very fast then stops, of which Guy Ritchie has been, so enamoured in the past. Apparently they made it quite fast, and it looks like they did. It looks like it was kind of like, crack on, get on with the thing. But the centre of it, and I am surprised to hear myself say this, is it has a very nice comic relationship between Holmes and Watson, because they are played as the bickering old couple who need each other and who fire off each other. I mean, they're in love with it. It is a love story. I know they've said this, but it's a love story about those two blokes. And actually the central dynamic is that one of them is about to marry somebody else, and this is going to break up the relationship. There is also another love interest played on the on the side of Holmes himself, which is seems to have been put there entirely. Rachel McAdams seems to have been put there entirely to as a sop to the American audience, and also as a sort of attempt to say, oh, it's okay because Holmes is straight. We all understand that. But actually, in those bickering scenes, in those scenes between them, there is something approaching genuinely good comedy. Now, as I said, I don't claim to be somebody who knows about the literary source of this. In fact, if you want a criticism of it from the point of view of somebody who understands literary source material, go and find out what Kim Newman has to say. I don't know what Kim Newman has to say, incidentally, but if there's any basis for what's in the script, Kim will know about it. What I'm telling you is, as somebody who's never liked a Guy Ritchie film before, although, first in Lock, Stock, there were things in it, but, after that it was all pretty much downhill. I went in expecting the very, very worst, and I started laughing, and I started enjoying their relationship, and I started thinking, this looks quite good. This is actually quite well put together. And I started thinking, I'm not putting this on, I'm going with this film. I'm actually warming to the characters in a Guy Ritchie film. And through this strange collision of events that it had to make it fast, and not his script, all these things came together and made a perfectly decent and perfectly passable and perfectly enjoyable action comedy with characters at the centre of it and a little domestic relationship played out against a gothic backdrop that I actually thought was visually interesting. So I really didn't think I'd end up saying that, but you know what? It's fine. Actually, at times, it's pretty good.
So we have a James Cameron big blockbuster which gets a wow from you. And a number of people thinking the kind of ground is moving beneath their feet. They're not quite sure of the future now as they contemplate a Guy Ritchie movie that you like and a Cameron movie that you like. And maybe the Christmas spirit is upon you.
No, because I still hate the other ones. I still think Revolver's awful. I still think Rock and Roller is awful. I still think there have been atrocious crimes. And there may well be atrocious crimes against cinema in the future. But what I hope what it demonstrates is that I do watch these things with an open mind. But you know what? I enjoy. And anyone who was in that screening with me will attest, I laughed a lot during Sherlock Holmes.
Well.